Turn the face of damnation. Turn the face of damnation. I used to be into the Islam. I lied down, I must say her name in vain. Taught to love, hate to see only my people in pain. Minds warped and brain lost and watched. Sons of God still hang on trees, but black Jesus hung on a cross. Watching them stagger with anger through the thoughtless forest. Wearing black and buried, but taught black is lawless. The only race human, we were the green and blue men. With moral science, ancient solutions. Uplifting father calling for the end of confusion. But damnation lost the hologram, show illusion. Trigger bamboozle, that's always and forever. Damnation needs to learn a new measure. Aggressor or intelligent tone beats them anytime, cousin. They expect the nigga antics, the yelling and cussing. Turban offense turns heads and feds to dashboard computers. Start trying to meet the muzzle on the crown prosecutors. Some listen, some turn to kill the who's not a more sharpshooter. Wards of the crown, civil it up. More two pocket looters. Lions conquer cause their pride and courage is neuter. Turn the face of damnation.
We don't live under the that's not true. Maybe that's here in the church. I used to be into the Islam. Hold on.
It's crazy how the politics can't call it quits. Cracking excursions of perversion just to call they bids. Now this one for the snorting all the big bass kids. They got a whole lot of wordplay to make you sick. And if you post it just to throw it in your face, take six. It's all games cause these corporates trying to sell you tricks. And no exclusive for the losing part. Tunnel vision stardust and it's commutation. Boy, make you take it. Feeding off the damnation just so you can hate her. She can never be the reason you betrayed her. Boy, syllables to lies just to open up her thighs and try to break her instead of open up her eyes and try to wake her. Impossible, cause all you try to do is let this paper cater to her feelings and blind her like a savior. You picture you a painter, but all the bets you trying to wager. This be I only give you what you can have.
Since going back, not for living for the youth, measure of the truth, back to this constitutional foe.
Turn the face of damnation.
We don't live under the that's not true. Maybe that's here in the church. I used to be into the Islam. Hold on.
All aboard, all in. Hands up, all for one for all. Man up, damnation like to make excuses like their hands cup. Usually in the cookie jars, ready hands stuck. Always pointing fingers on what we do. Why you mad at us? Lead them to the water, make them drink. Still matters. Most took the pill, wasn't ready. What you think? Back on luck, resorting to your corporate ways. Think you made an honest buck. Look at all the things you say. Lets me know your life sucks. Regret choices every day. Why bother waking up? Damnation always sees the half empty of the cup. Higher self eventually fades to obscurity. Lower self raises up. Run into the church, worship him, but they praising us. Empty out your purse, sing a hymn. In God you trust. Blood of Christ wash away your sins. So what's the fuss when you can run to us? Why you acting sus? You were agent, I still ride the back of the bus. Blood hits the pavement, politician gets his cut. Mental enslavement, static connect, breaking up.
Turn the face of damnation.
We don't live under the that's not true. Maybe that's here in the church. I used to be into the Islam. Hold on.
Lamism developed in Tibet in the Tang dynasty and then passed into Mongolia and northeast China. Lamism is the Buddhism practiced in Tibet. This type of Buddhism is the Indian Mahayana Buddhism, intermingled with elements of Asian Tibetan religions. High person indicates great stature in the Buddhist religion, a noble man of much wisdom and good works, standing higher than all others. Therefore, a high person, a Tibetan Buddhist Lama, is like the abbot in Chinese Buddhism. Habits are the mounting structures. They pass on their wisdom in the same way as any other type of teacher. The habit.
Step down from me 13 step. Stranger, who's black here, take first step. Won't savior, KRS is my nature. Then correction papers, I'm a motherfucking savior. Hey, give thanks to my makers, not just high. See you later to my haters. Keep it up and drop a planet on these traders. Easy fuck, got full principle. The fifth is just who damn government, it's not us, the people. Me and mama, the papa, come first. Find them within the internal compass. Jump on the llama when the industry holds from the drama when it's tossed back up. More on top when we alter this world more than just, hey, what's up for the slaughter? The abbot, the panda, nobody grander. The stature, Prophet Noble to Ali is the answer.
The habit. The habit.
Yeah.
The habit. The habit. I know them. Much wisdom, and good work, The habit.
Our habit brought us Islamism. Look at this unity or divisionism. He never died. He survived the great schism, avalanche, lies, and libel. He made us national, not tribal. Impropria persona, don't throw away your Bible. Affirm, never swear, matriarch, not rival. Honors to the mothers, use a menstrual cycle to make waves tidal. I'm his disciple. Teachings of our habit needs to go viral. We recycle. Quran questions, recital, chakras spiral. Lower self stifle, so delightful. Awaiting higher self-arrival. Trained us to be mental fittest for survival. Gave up the slave tag for ancestral titles. Back from the dead when the habit tapped my spinal. Not the heavy metal band, but the path of the left hand.
The habit. The habit. The habit. The habit. I know them. Much wisdom, and good work, The habit.
Developing inner self is like building physical muscle. Even when we're physically still, remember spiritual hustle. Must you question our proper answers and lessons? Been in sessions with those who develop spirit like professions. The message is trust thyself. The more we know, balance with the more that we know there's more we don't know. Gotta grow still. Decay's the only other option. I don't like that feel, so I cut and connect with real. Not just to heal, to thrive. To escalate our inner state, once focused on survive. We better now we rise. Divine plans, harmonizing my logic and inner man. Stand still, listen to inner voice, articulate will. Fulfillment of the goal of oneness is truly silence. Inner outer self is one. No plus, no minus, or minus. MYND or harmonization. Physical and spiritual and us creations waiting.
The habit. The habit. The habit. The habit.
Yeah.
I know them. Much wisdom, and good work, The habit.
It's a journey for whoever's worthy to learn themselves and not to ossify behavior dirty. It's still a controversy. Flat earth, round earth, who the first people? They try to calculate a formula to keep you equal, but I am the nemesis to all you supremacists, putting all the emphasis to crush all your benefits, distorting what was relevant, tracing back to Genesis. The proof is in the pudding. We impeach more than presidents. Still we take your precedence, uplifting humanity. Since now you dirty more standing with who's begging me. Year 1933 was a tragedy, a blessing in the same breath, removing all the chains from the brain, soul plain left, never disappear. It's a searching from this plain flesh. Student always learning, this is certain. I am shameless. The average to the ever, we go into the same test, same test.
The habit. The habit. The habit. The habit. I know them. Much wisdom, and good work, The habit.
Habit said don't abort the mission. Never waited for the course decision. Escape from this corporate fiction. Sometimes high, sometimes low. Phase in and out. Conscious switching different route. Avoid the friction. Watch your mouth. Change your ditching. Status out. The jurisdiction. What we about? Most on listen. Build this house. My solar system. Begin to south. We in remission. Got no doubt. My prophet's mission.
my prophet's vision.
A noble man. The abbot, the abbot, the abbot, the abbot, the abbot.
Common sense was made before book sense. Canaanland Moors presents Common Sense Quick.
Legendary, bury me in the North Gates Cemetery, February the 4th day, Son of Mary. Day ahead of my born day, independence and law makes it a little of a lost case. With case laws, we bring them down like Jericho. Keeping all my lions tamed, I'm Chris Jericho. I'll keep a mask on deck, I'm Rey Mysterio. Fake pandemics announced over the radio. Annoyed with the game, the joys and the pains. I'm Bob Bass, mix it with rock the hard way. I was in a lost state. Prophets stood me up, right? Brought me to a lost gate. Cooking like I'm Saute, rapping like I'm Denzel. Malcolm X stage, I grew Roman J. Israel. And over door, I lay in plain sight. But people still can't see it, so the snake's still showing up. The stakes still high, so the race still going up. Warriors of the North Gate, we not slowing up. Born in the manger, sworn to be savior. Walk through the valley of the shadows of the death, different slavery. Looking for light, the book of Genesis. Astro plane entrances, invoke the nemesis. Abstract images of past lives kicking in. Danger, running for your life. Finish him.
Moorish or more, key man or oracle, using Trinity powers, decipher allegorical, lost and metaphorical, holy books are metaphysic, facts like a dirty more or a Drew Ali critic, calling him Thomas or Walter and get your face caved, or cut like a close shave, drowned in my brainwaves, squash my heat waves, activating Kundalini, Abyssinia invaded by Mussolini, Selassie I in exile, reptile in Genesis, niggas appearing real, all I see is false evidence,
Common sense was made before book sense. Canaanland Moors presents Common Sense Quick.
Legendary, bury me in the North Gates Cemetery, February the 4th day, Son of Mary. Day ahead of my born day, independence and law makes it a little of a lost case. With case laws, we bring them down like Jericho. Keeping all my lions tamed, I'm Chris Jericho. I'll keep a mask on deck, I'm Rey Mysterio. Fake pandemics announced over the radio. Annoyed with the game, the joys and the pains. I'm Bob Bass, mix it with rock the hard way. I was in a lost state. Prophets stood me up, right? Brought me to a lost gate. Cooking like I'm Saute, rapping like I'm Denzel. Malcolm X stage, I grew Roman J. Israel. And over door, I lay in plain sight. But people still can't see it, so the snake's still showing up. The stakes still high, so the race still going up. Warriors of the North Gate, we not slowing up. Born in the manger, sworn to be savior. Walk through the valley of the shadows of the death, different slavery. Looking for light, the book of Genesis. Astro plane entrances, invoke the nemesis. Abstract images of past lives kicking in. Danger, running for your life. Finish him.
Moorish or more, key man or oracle, using Trinity powers, decipher allegorical, lost and metaphorical, holy books are metaphysic, facts like a dirty more or a Drew Ali critic, calling him Thomas or Walter and get your face caved, or cut like a close shave, drowned in my brainwaves, squash my heat waves, activating Kundalini, Abyssinia invaded by Mussolini, Selassie I in exile, reptile in Genesis, niggas appearing real, all I see is false evidence, they are feminists, stomped on by elephants, more like a prejudice but want Moorish benefits, when you feel the cold magnetic resonance, Apis horns of the sacred book all maleficent, great cosmic mothers, return to blessedness, no pestilence, ace all the testaments, tap into remembrance, never to forget again, use energy right, not put spell effects on men, wandering the earth plane with no daily shades, keeps you a mental slave as the horizon fades, it's been decades since Christian crusades, not enough rebellions, too many vigil bouquets, holding on to the fence, burning on doomsday, war ruled by Mars, it might be on a Tuesday.
Canaanland Moors presents Common Sense Quick. What we do here is we add some common sense thinking to everyday situations or comments that may arise. Want to give it a try?
Islam Moors, and there's the Moors in the chat if you want to get the album still. Hellfire, it's out there. Moors in the chat, Brother Kasir will set you up. Islam to all the Moors worldwide. We had to do a makeup session for the Moors, because you already know stuff, how stuff goes, you know what I mean? So sometimes we have to just allow what must happen to happen, you know. But next week, Sons of Allah will be back for the makeup of the makeup. But Islam to all the Moors worldwide. Peace to the Moor, Mizraim Aleph El, who you already know we get our sessions in when it comes to Sons of Allah. But today we changed that up a bit. We have some things we want to watch, and we just want to get different Moors perspective, you know. So we're gonna put the link in the chat if you happen to hear something, you know. Since we can't do the Q&A, on the MHHS blog talk, we'll do it in this way for today. So the link's in the chat. Make sure your time is, you know, limited, right? You got probably like a 2-minute, 3-minute time span to express yourself. Brother Albacet, I see you back there. Brother Yusuf, I see you back there. So we're just gonna get this set up. If anybody wants to get in there, just hit the link, and we'll put you in the back for right now until we set up. So again, we're here for our third Thursday Sons of Allah session. Don't forget, go to rvbaypublications.com. Get yourself familiar with this information. Moors who've been on this, Islam to you for being on this, for knowing what's up. Well, don't worry, Moor, we got time. We got time. if we need, we got till midnight, because it's Sons of Allah Day today. It's Sons of Allah Day today. So we just want to let all the Moors know it's open session today. It's open session. A video came to our awareness, and we wanted to present this for the Moors, because by the views of it, nobody's seen the video, which is interesting that nobody's seen the video, because we're talking about prominent people. So we're going to play the video, see what happens. So for all the Moors who are out there, I see you, Albacet, Islam Moor. I didn't put you in the thing yet. Let me just get this thing set up. So for all the Moors out there, just make sure that you keep yourself in tune with knowing thyself, and know that where we're at is where it's at, Moors. Where we're at is where it's at. So I'm just gonna let everybody in. Just let everybody in so we can get started. Islam. And if the Moors could read as well, just when you're not talking, so we can have everything clear. This is an interesting one.
Peace and love. That was it.
Yeah.
Islam, Kasir. Yeah, bro.
Peace, Moors.
No what.
So we'll just get this started up.
Oh yeah, I'm familiar with this one. Oh no. West Cornell, not again.
Kaylee.
Good.
Let's take a picture together. Yeah, that all right. How you all doing?
Yeah. Okay, let's. Yeah, so now you.
It wasn't for me to meet her.
Yeah, so now you can say.
My brother's here.
Yeah, so now you can say, oh, you got your phone too? Oh yeah, this is 1928 stuff. Yeah, yes. Yes. Mm-hmm.
He's from Newark, though.
And state of North Carolina, 1886. State Yeah, so now
it wasn't for me to meet her.
Yeah, so now you can say,
my brother's here.
yeah, so now you can say, oh, you got your phone too?
Look at these pictures, man.
Oh yeah, this is 1928 stuff. Yes.
So we just want to put it to the panel.
Colonel.
What do you think about the good brother, the elder, Cornel West, visiting a Moorish Science Temple? And not backing away. You know, he's obviously going to check out the pictures and stuff like that. So he's not looking at things from a negative perspective. So, you know, what do you think about this? Cornel West knowing what's up.
Me?
Oh, you can go ahead more.
I'm familiar with this particular video, so
it just comes to show that they all know what's up.
Islam.
Yeah.
He's from Newark, though.
And state of North Carolina, 1886. Right?
Okay, so if Noble Drew Ali, so remember, this is Cornel West, right? This is the black guy's guy. This is the black guy's guy. They rep him. He's coming up to a picture and says, boy, Newark, huh? That's not even Moorish Science Temple yet.
Yep.
How much does he know? Why would he bring up Newark? Is it on the thing over there? Did he see Newark on something? And you know what I mean? But if you know as much as Noble Drew Ali having any type of reference to Newark, you know he's born in North Carolina. You know that. There's no way you think he's born in Newark. Right? This is how much they know about your prophet. This is the black guys. Right? Just to put it on the record. Just so that we're clear.
You know what's crazy about this?
Go ahead, Mark.
It's like his name's Cornel West. So we already know the implication of the corn, the L, and the West. But Kanye's name is Cornel West. I mean, Kanye's name is the West also. So Kanye West, Cornel West. The craziest part about that is this guy was stationed in so-called Chicago, Mecca, right? So of course he knows. I mean, look at where he was at. Look at who he's around. He has to know because this is something like this is the hidden secret that they all know. It's just not for the the sleepy-headed Moors to know. See, that's the thing. It's also crazy because Lupe Fiasco is also from out there, and if you watch his video, Just Might Be Okay. He has a scene right in the beginning where the Moors is sitting there with the feathers on. They got the flags up, and everything is, everything is right.
Islam no.
So whether they say or they don't, they play. Like, because if you're not going to do what Kanye did and basically authorize the shirts that have the symbols of the isonomy on there for Nas's More album, forget that. I'm calling that album More. That's the More album, 7 tracks. So like he everybody knows, but it's like who's going to show? And that's the thing. Like, it's up for them to decide because it's all in the law's work. So, you know, Islam, y'all, I'll let y'all go. But that's what I seen from that. The whole connection with him to Mecca is what this is about. And how deep does his knowledge go? He probably knows more than a lot of Moors.
Say no more. No
that's,
one has to.
that's real. That's real.
Word.
Islam, anybody else have anything to add on before we carry on?
I'm kind of curious, Grand Sheik, over what is he doing there? Because with him already, we can assume that he knows because he is already, like how you just stated, he's the black man's guy. And like even in my own journey into knowing myself deeper, Cornel West is one of those living people that can really give a lot of broad scope connection to a lot of us for understanding the paradigm that we in. So if he can understand that so well, he's teaching on these platforms amongst our opposition and our oppressors, you know, in his career, then his whole existence tells me that he knows. So why is he there? That's what I'm most concerned about.
Brother Yusuf, you got anything to add? Try.
Yeah, I want to ask the panel or Moore's in the chat. You can hear me, Grand Sheik?
Yeah, we can hear you, Moore.
Islam.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Islam.
Yusuf.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yusuf.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So my question is, if all right, Islam. I was just wondering. My question is, if he can, if he knows this, why is it the pushing of the civil rights for the past years? It's just the pushing of civil rights. Then when you check his background, he's a Democrat, and we all know Democrat is against the Constitution and whatnot. But you know who Noble Drew Ali is. You know what I mean? Like, you know who he is. And it's like, but your whole background is to push NBC, to push civil rights. Like, that's what his whole thing is. Like, if you check his books on the black race and stuff like that, that's his whole thing, is to push the opposite of what Noble Drew Ali was teaching. So, like, what's going on? I'm saying, like, that's my question. What's going on? Like, how are you going to know who Noble Drew Ali is, but you're still going to push this? Islam, and I yield the floor.
Oh, Islam, what temple is this again?
It's the brother Fuqua Bay. I'm not even sure what temple it is.
Is he?
I think that's the one in Detroit.
Is he straight?
In so-called Detroit.
Is that more straight?
Well, these Moors are on. There's no such thing as Moor sovereignty and all that type of stuff.
Okay, so now we know what this is. This is a Masonic meeting.
No,
I'm just having to hear it straight. This is a
Masonic crazy. Word up the rib.
Because he won't come here. He won't come to Canaanland. He's not gonna go to Nature Bay. He's not gonna go nowhere near Jamal. He's not going to Toria. So, he lost. He up there in the wrong temple. Told people about the temples. Noble Drew Ali shut the temples down. So he doing
right in the tent.
You know these things. These people are Masons.
Islamism through Noble might be Noble. You go straight fire.
Yeah, man. Straight up. That's some Masonic stuff right there. That's a Masonic meeting what we seen. The handshakes and everything. That's Masonic.
True that.
See, look, peep the title. Dr. Cornel West knew the prophet, Noble Drew Ali. Watch as he drops, all caps, that Moorish science, all caps. So what is it even saying? That can't be Moorish science because it's not even spelled correctly. That's saying a vessel. So Moorish science is a ship now. I'm not with these guys. These people are Masons. Gotta watch them. And then notice how they hashtag love.
Right.
Well, ain't no love in civil rights.
Right.
Did we ever get love from civil rights? I'm saying.
Nah.
Ain't no love in that. So
not really though.
I yield the floor.
Point well taken. It's not meant to mighty noble. You already know, Kasir. It's crazy out there.
Oh, and of course, if there's any mothers who need to say anything, you're more than welcome to push the link and express your will. You run this again.
He came through Newark, but stayed in North Carolina. Yes, sir. 1880. No, he just out of state. I don't remember the city. Now, ain't that something? I don't. Oh, your phone working? Well, cut it off. Go live. For some reason, the phone working. That's a, you knew it. You knew it. You called it right out. So you can feel that energy right there. Come on, move this. Give me some energy down. That's right, 1928. Now you know it was a lot of happening in 1928. Kaylee, come here. Kaylee. Yeah. Where you want to sit? Right here? This better? Yes, ma'am. Is that you can get the buff or you got to move back?
No, I could get us.
Oh, wait, Doctor, you can come down here. I know you want to greatest story. What is the greatest story? Right here. We talking about greatness. We talking about the greatest story. Hey, that brings back some things. Lord have mercy.
Islam Moors.
Islam,
Peep the church pews.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. I know about this.
Interesting.
1928. Garvey had just been deported.
Yeah.
Notice the flag positions on the picture.
Right.
The trial was 25. 25 in Louisiana.
And again, since it's only the 20th, we still have to give honors to the Messiah, Marcus Garvey, since he brought him up too, and who his master teacher, Dus Muhammad Ali, that they'll never bring up. Just like they'll never bring up Noble Drew Ali when they start talking about Marcus Garvey. Never.
Well, when I come back, I'm coming in a whirlwind. That's right. He said, I'm coming back in a whirlwind. That's right. That's right. No, you know what you got that from? No, where you get that from? Verse 3. When God said, God has his way in the whirlwind and the storm. Oh, okay. That's where you got that from. So you got to be in the whirlwind to meet God. So Garvey said, I'm coming back with the divine spirit in me loving black people. And I'm going to be in the whirlwind.
Oh, okay. That deep. Now that's a historical piece right there. I know they said I was coming back in the whirlwind, but I did not know where he got that from.
And you know our ancestors came up with. Remember that song "Wade in the Water"? Oh!
Now let me ask this question.
Wait, hold up.
Oh shit.
Do you think that there's a elder pass for this doctor to be in the Moorish Science Temple of America and call people black people? Let's put that out to the
Hell no.
Nope.
Mm-mm.
See, wait, how does he know that? Like, so he knows. Wait a minute. Did he just drop what he? So he just dropped that Noble Drew Ali was the one who created the whirlwind statement, and Marcus Garvey was like recognizing Noble Drew Ali when he said that. Is that what he just said?
I don't think so. I didn't catch that.
It's because the guy was like, "Oh, that's where he got that from," and he was saying like somebody said something about a whirlwind, and Garvey
Somebody
was like,
said something. I think he was making reference to some Bible verse or something.
"Oh, all right."
That it said something about whirlwind, and then he's connecting it to that.
Just when you think it was like something there, and here they go, churching. Jesus. Well, there you go.
Oh, okay. That's where he got that from.
So you got to be in the whirlwind to meet God. And Garvey said, I'm coming back with the divine spirit in me, loving black people. And I'm going to be in the whirlwind.
Loving who? Like, wait, loving who?
That's all I said.
It ain't correct.
That's what I was asking. Does he get
Collarbone, fictitious.
Does he get an elder pass?
And
Does he get an elder pass because he's in the Moorish Science Temple?
Not at all.
He's talking about black people.
Well, that's a good question. That is a good question. Does Taj get an elder pass? So if Taj can get it, like he got it, and he's an elder, and this then man, this guy shouldn't even be here. But we know what this is. That's more proof.
Word.
But hold on, let's look at it.
Go ahead, Mark.
But look at it like this, real quick. If can y'all can hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Islam.
Islam.
Oh, okay.
Peace. Can y'all hear me?
I'm looking at it too, like does he get the pass because of the Masonic connection? Like
right on.
Yep.
No doubt about it. Oh,
you know what I'm saying? Is it Masonic thing? Because at the end of the day, they already admit that they're doing religious organization, that they're not practicing that nationalism. They're going through with the religious side, and that's where they standing at.
Shame on them.
Yeah, but I'm still okay. That's what it is. Okay, remember with the when Dr. Reg, so-called Dr. Reggie said to Taj, because Taj said, anybody who's calling these people black are selling you out. And he said, well, it's Dr. Ben. He said, anybody. So I'm not looking at it like this guy shouldn't have got corrected. He should have got corrected. Because anybody, like Master Teacher Taj said, anybody who's calling these people black, African American, etc., are selling you out. So he should have got corrected. Because anybody who's doing it, because I tell my son, I don't care who they are, you better check them. I don't care. I don't care who they are.
No one.
Don't let nobody call you black. That's crazy. And that's 9 out of 10 times. If you don't if you correct a European, you tell them you're not
It
black.
goes back
I've had it
to the
happen.
fact that
They go straight to
if
being
you
apologetic.
acquiesce,
They apologize. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
if you
I'm
let
sorry.
it,
Islam.
quick.
Do Yusuf get like cut out or something?
I don't know. You there, Yusuf?
Yusuf.
Moors or not? What I mean?
No, I'm right here. I'm right here. It's just because it keeps like lagging. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Go in and out.
Loud and clear.
Yeah, we can hear you, brother B.
Yeah, it's buffering or something.
I think everybody's lagging or something.
Got the line up tonight with Moors or not. Huh? Brother Shin here, like your leg. Mm-hmm. We gotta go back to the bases. Moors or not? Moors or not?
Black color. Yeah, right.
Buffering and shuffling. Meaning, when somebody does call you black, like the brother said,
correct them right on.
Know that hey, when somebody
right.
comes like that, you make the corrections quick. So there's no ifs, ands, or buts. None at all. And you know that's
9 out of 10
necessary.
times is going to be your own.
For us to the cleanup. We playing cleanup. Negro until proven otherwise. We're supposed to get with the program and not be so quick to right. And here's I got one thing I want to address is the fact that at home you have your trials and you have your things you go through just in life, the things of life. However, I'm not hard-headed, but I'll say however, if somebody everyone knows, talk to anybody and they'll tell you that something's wrong, something's going on with the so-called government. So you mean to tell me everybody knows what's going on, but then it comes to affairs within or without, then you can talk shit or you can say all this to everybody else, but then the people who are in power, who are really giving all of us the business, you had nothing to say to them. You want to bang on each other, but then you don't want to bang on the people that are subjugating us and our children, poisoning us through the water, through the food, through the literature. But you don't have nothing to say, and you have everything to say to me. And we need to. Some people need to refocus on that. On the fact that hey, we need to check each other. Be your brother's keeper. Be your sister's keeper. And that's to the mother too. Yeah, you the law enforcer. Yeah, we're the law enforcer. Yeah, you're the lawmaker. What? Can you hear me?
Yeah,
we can hear you.
You're breaking up a little bit.
I just had that's been on mine. Like that's been on my mind for a while though. We beat each other up, but then when it comes to the people who are really then nobody got nothing to say. That's the government, they're gonna get you, or this anything other than something. but then you got all this to say to me, or you got all this to say to the sister or the brother. We gotta check that. Just like it doesn't matter what religion or whatever creed you go by. Leave it at the door. Leave that ego at the door too. Because if you're not beating up on them, then I don't want to hear shit from you. As far as I'm concerned, where I'm at, and I don't have all the answers. I'm just saying that, hey, don't talk shit to me. And then the people who just foreclosed on your house, you got nothing to say, you got nothing to do, not a phone call, no paperwork, no nothing. That doesn't even make sense. And that just shows the mentality that we have. I think us as a people that when we feel now this is pre nationality, this is pre Moorish divine national movement. There's a sense of hopelessness. You don't feel like you don't have any power to change your condition or the conditions of the people around you. So it's easy to, most times you take it on the people that you love when you're going through some changes and you don't feel like you have a healthy outlet. That's why it's important too that as much as we hit in these books, then folk, we need to be exercising and we need to be finding something to do outside of the everyday mundane program that we've had to. So we're not, Brother Cujo, we were just talking about it. We're not really in a position to exercise like we want. And so whenever I tend to get sidetracked, I think about the fact, okay, well, am I diverting too much energy toward this? How is this helping me every day? I think we all need to be, set goals. What am I going to do today to further the mission? What am I going to do today to put my children in a better position? What am I going to do to help further along the cause or the movement as a whole? And by living deliberately. And I think I know me personally, I have to remind myself to live deliberately. That's important. So we don't get caught up in the debates and and beating up on people, and we can affirm our position without necessarily without the focus. But however, that's important though, because we got to clear up the confusion. And as mothers and fathers of civilization, I think one brother said the children get out of order. Yeah.
Yes, love.
No.
That's why this is so important, though. Because everything he was, go ahead, it's on.
Go ahead, brother Yusuf.
So that's where I'm at.
I was just saying, just to add on, because he had spoke about once he had mentioned the children, it struck something in my mind too. I don't know what's going on in anybody else's jurisdiction, but out here, I just found out today that if your child doesn't have the flu shot, that they won't be able to go back to school. And they specifically said the flu shot. And I thought that was interesting because it has nothing, they're not saying COVID-19 or a coronavirus shot or something like that, or cure or something like that. They're putting a lot of emphasis on your child can't even come to school if they don't have the flu shot. And I'm like, but y'all never done this before. So why is there so much emphasis on the flu shot right now? I don't know if that's going on in anybody else's jurisdiction.
Yeah, I don't think so.
It's Did y'all hear about any of that?
No, not my jurisdiction.
Yeah, and that's what I'm. Oh, okay. But I'm noticing that here. But when I sat and thought about it, I looked at it. I said, it's forcing us to.
I haven't heard
It's
anything
actually
thus far.
forcing the people to do what the prophet was telling us
How
to
many?
do.
If you don't mind me asking, how many days are they? Are they part time or they full time? What's the scheduling like? Because I know ours are going like I think like 3 days a week, and then or 2 days a week, and then
Like right now, school's canceled till January.
Whoa.
Did y'all hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's not even an option right now.
and hell, even by their own standards. Even by their own standards.
Because they
You
don't.
got
They
the
don't
freedom
even
not
work.
to be. You got the freedom of association. You got the freedom to do
right,
and that should just show. That should tell the people, oh well, this is mandatory. To if you want, that's an adhesion contract. Damn, hold on. I thought they would start after Labor Day. Well, around here. January.
Right. They postponed it till January. It's crazy. But I'm looking at it too. Like it's a fourth prophecy through the prophet. Yep. Because he said all Moors must have a school.
Right.
So right now we're being forced to have a school. If you like it or not.
We need each other.
You know, and I love how the mother says
just in reference to
you guys are gonna
some of the studies. One person, one man, one woman can only do so much. And it doesn't even leave time to really delve into the areas.
Yep, but it's exciting though, because if you're, especially if you have your nationality right now, because we know what's going on. I was telling the Grand Sheik earlier, all this stuff that's going on now, Moore's been saying that this was coming before it came. We've been saying this stuff was happening. You know, stuff was closing down. Businesses was closing. They getting rid of the so-called money and stuff like that. Like more, Todd's been saying this for over 30 years. Been saying it, and then now it has come, and under the guise of Corona. But Moore's been saying this, been saying that this was going to happen, that stuff was going to just start closing down. It was going to be over, and then now it's like people are questioning even more. It's like, oh, what are we going to do? It's the prophet said y'all supposed to have enough food and water for 6 months. He said this in the 20s. You know what I mean? So like we were supposed to been on it. Been on it. That's but it's exciting though, because we're in the knowing. You know what I mean? It's a good time to be a Moor.
Right, exactly.
Because I'm looking at everybody else just in panic mode, because when Moors, we already knew. You know, that's why another reason why I was like, yo, all right, it's time for me to get my stuff in order. Like I'm about to leave this corporate stuff alone and get ready, because I know it's about to be looking crazy out here. You know what I mean? You're not going to be able to go to your summer beach houses anymore, your VIPs anymore. All that's going to be over. That's going to go away. It's going to be forcing people to be involved in the 5 principles. It's going to force you to have nationality. And it's another prophecy. The prophet said, no matter how it looks, it's all going to be in the hands of the Moors. And that's how it's looking right now. That's exactly how it's looking. It's looking just like it. I'm like, wait a minute. It's just falling right into our hands. But we got to be ready. We got to be ready for that. We got to be ready because, like the Grand Sheik, I hear him tell a lot of Moors all the time, like we're the ones. There's not going to be a ship of special Moors to come and be like, okay, Moors, we're here now. Nope, nope. We're the Moors that's going to do this. I love that. We got to be the Moors to do it. We're the ancient return. We study this about, and everything. The Europeans wrote this in all their books. The Bella X, the coming back. They talking about us. They knew we was coming back. To study that is amazing. To see like, oh, y'all knew we was coming. Yep. Like you look at it when you keep studying, you're looking at it like, well, welcome back. Yeah, because we're back. I used to tell the Grand Sheik that all the time. Like, I don't know who you are, but you're him. You're it. I don't know what it is, but I can tell you've been here before. And then studying and realizing, that's what the prophet said it. It's going to be the 4th and 5th generations. You know what I mean? Like that's another prophet. He was killing them. That's why I love when Grand Sheik says Noble Drew Ali is the man, because that's almost an understatement. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, yo, come on. Like this, and then even the stuff that we don't know, when we figure it out, you still give him the props, because he'd be like, if I told you everything, you'd have went back to sleep. So you'd be like, oh, you even knew this, huh? Yeah, I knew that, but I couldn't tell you that. Because it just makes sense. It just all falls into the loop. Yeah, Noble Drew Ali is the man. It's the Moorish time. Just seeing Cornell in the Moorish Science Temple right now. I was telling the Grand Sheik, even though the dirty Moors bringing them in, showing that all of these since back in the day, they know about the Moors. It's forcing the truth to come. They always say the truth come to light. Look at it. All these people, they know we Moors, but because of the activity of Moors, it's forcing people to come to Rooster. Like, you gotta, let me try to rub shoulders with the Moors and make it look like I've always been involved. Like, no. Nobody even knew who Noble Drew Ali. How Cornell West gonna mention? We never even heard of this man, the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. He just said it like it was, New Jersey. We don't even know this guy. They do Black History Month. He's a spokesman. Never heard nothing from him saying anything about Noble Drew Ali. He's an activist, a social activist out there.
Go ahead.
Not one time. Hart works at Harvard too. So you already know that connection too.
Hey, and the brother asked him, there's a video. There's a video over.
You're breaking up, Mark. You're breaking up.
Say that again, more.
There's a video of a brother asking him, does black he either knew he was either conscious of birthright and nationality, or you said what? There's a video West if black had a negative for our people. You should be able to find it. The brother asked Cornell West, is there a negative connotation that goes along with our people saying it's black? And then he paused for a second. No, I don't think so. And so to hear the brother was in the temple, it just goes back to what we've been saying, or even what you just said. Like, man, you see things going for the worse, and the power is looking like it's going to ship hands, and now all of a sudden, it's Islam, and I've been knowing, and you know, it just it f's me up. I can't even tell you.
Yep,
But
he's
then
still
no,
playing
they're
that
not
game
getting no
because he still
passes.
came in the temple and said black.
Getting no pass for me. I'm not let the time for letting it slide is long enough, because those same people will try to, or when it does change hands, those same people will be trying to creep around and try to slide up onto you.
That's the
And
Morisco. That's the
because I've been
Morisco.
telling you. I've
This
been
is
telling you
Morisco.
what's happening. I've been telling you. We've been telling you.
Breaking up.
Right.
But hold on.
And
Let me
another
add on to
thing,
what you're
why,
saying.
you got the gays, you say cigarette to them. You say cigarette, we know Moors, we know what stuff means. But if you say that, you say that's a one of them, then that's a hate crime. Where are we at when we need to be made black? That needs to be a hate crime to call somebody that.
For real. You have anything to add, Brother Yusuf?
Yeah, because what he was just explaining was the activity
Or did
of
I
a
break up?
Morisco, right? And it was great because I was reading. Yeah, I can hear.
All in plain sight.
You can hear me, Grand Sheet?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Because when he was saying about describing the activity of them wanting to switch sides when the power shift hands or whatnot. Now, and when he was just describing was those who straddle the fence. But when you study, that was just the Moriscos in ancient history who were trying to play both sides because they didn't want, they still wanted their way of living. But if they had to play Christian, they're gonna play Christian. They'll sell out, whatever. But when I was reading our favorite book, We Are All Moors, from Anor Majid, on page 42, he says it real quicker and simple. There was no pity or mercy for any Morisco. So at the end of the day, they can straddle the fence and play both sides all they want. It doesn't matter. They're not going to have any pity or mercy for any of these Moriscos. So it was a waste of time for them to even try to sell out. For what? So you can have a couple of extra suits, a couple of extra haircuts and hair dones and vacations. They're not going to have any pity or mercy on any of the Moriscos. Any of them. Any of them. They take away these so-called minority leaders immediately. No questions asked. You're just off the scene. They don't have any pity for any of these so-called minority leaders. It was the so-called sheriff, unconscious Moore, who's a sheriff working for the other side. He just got fired the other day. All minority leaders must be expelled at once. King Alfred plan, and they still trying to be Moriscos.
Because how can you trust?
They still trying to side with the other side. Say that again.
Yeah, we're not hearing you anymore.
You still there, Grand Sheik?
Yeah, I'm still here, but we're not hearing Brother Yan Bay. Something's up with his thing. I think I don't know if it's the internet or what, but it keeps tripping you in and out. So I don't know if
Yeah. Yeah, but that whole thing, that video really is really getting under my skin now because I'm really
And they
looking
gotta
at,
know.
even though, okay.
How can you trust? How are they gonna trust somebody if you betray your own? They got these people have to, that when it all falls down. No, you're not getting any refuge over.
Trust me, he's not muted. Something's up with his line.
Yeah, you're not getting any refuge over here. Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, it's tripping crazy. It's tripping crazy. Hold on, let's play this thing in the meantime.
I was coming back in the world, man, but I did not know when we got back. And you know our ancestors. Okay, remember that song, Wade in the Water? Oh! God goes trouble in the water. Wade in the water.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. That's too far. It's great, Chick. That's too far, bro. We can't. This is way too far. That's crazy, bro. Grand Sheik, this is crazy. Like, yo, when
I never watched this before.
when Yusef brought up the Moriscos, it made me think of like this John I was studying about. It's called La Pienza de Sangre, and this is talking about the pureness of blood. And this is what these so-called Catholics was doing way back in the day to subjugate people of Moorish bloodline. They were saying, well, look, our bloodline come from this book called, the Bible, and this is the families in it. So this is our bloodline. Y'all bloodlines is like subjected and corroded.
Right.
So after Le Pienza de Sangre, these Morisco people and the Moranos, they formed these things called crypto Judaism and crypto Islamism sects, where they was like secretly practicing, like how Yusef was saying, secretly practicing and stuff in the background, but then keeping all the glory from this Christianity crap. So I'm like, damn, the pureness of blood versus the crypto people. So this is the origin of the Bloods and Crips and stuff. And then so it comes all the way down to now. You got, well, I don't know if we could even say he's trying to get, well, damn, this joint is so crazy. Because it's like you got a dirty Moorish temple basically trying to propagate a lost Moor that knows we Moors that that's never said it to the nation, like, yo, this guy's acceptable. Because of course, like, it's sleepy-headed Moors to see this video and think like, oh wow, damn, Cornel West is on it. Like, and it's like, no, like, this is like, again, this is a Masonic meeting. Like, they're singing church hymns now. Obviously, this goes back to
look at this.
Masonic. That's why.
I'm glad you bring that up.
Public. It's like it's secret.
Because that's exactly what's going on.
Yep, it's like they keep it in the secret and keep it under the wraps. Just like how Noble Jolly took all the covers off of the secret societies.
Yo, did you see them? Did you see them singing hymns?
Yo, it's crazy. This shit is crazy. It's like I don't understand. Hymns with this guy.
Yo, but now look at this, because the prophet said, excuse me, but there's not, because Morris said there's nothing wrong with the temple. It's just the people in it. Because now I'm looking at it, I'm like, man, it's crazy what they doing to the temple, because like you're saying, it's just a dirty so-called Grand Sheik that's bringing in the sellout guy, Cornel West, who's in there casting spells in the temple by calling the ancestors black. Now because you're casting spells, like, that's how I look. I take all of that stuff serious. You're not gonna just walk in the temple and just start casting spells. Look what you're doing right now. And then now you're singing spells now. You're singing Christian hymns. in the Moorish Science Temple. You're singing that, and those are slave hymns. Those ain't even. That's some made up Christian slave hymns that just made up, because that's not. We all know who ran the transatlantic slave trade. We know who ran that.
Right.
So all of that fraud that was going on real quick, right in front of your eyes. And then, like you said, it's going to be new people coming into this information who are going to see that. And they're not going to be thinking like we thinking, like, yo, this man's casting spells in the temple.
Right.
This be like, we don't see, y'all don't see this? Yeah, I know he know who the prophet is, but he still side dissing at the same time when he came in the temple.
And then the higher ritual to this thing is that they're singing "Wade in the Water," but we're in the 5th age of the awakening of the water. So it's like you're trying to put people under the water of the awakening age of Aquarius.
Back in,
like, I'm well aware. You're trying to drown the people instead of give them awakening. Because how come they ain't in there like really breaking it down? Like, oh, how much do you know? Like, see, if it was us, you already know how to been. How much do you know? How long did you? How come you ain't never said? Like, that more would have ran out of there. But like, you could tell this thing is coached and planned before they even start recording. They probably went over how this is gonna go. You're gonna go through this pew. You're gonna cut through this joint. We're gonna start singing "Wade in the Water." Because nothing is this like with people like him. Nothing is like is like put to spare. Like everything is made sure that he could get out of there alive, basically.
You
waiting.
They went over this at the lodge meeting.
It's insane.
I was telling the Grand Sheik that they have their lodge meetings first, and then they go, and after their lodge meetings, each of them they go and like back each other's organization. They'll go out there and like support it. I've seen it. Like they all have their meetings, and then whatever you do, whatever your side thing you do, they in that organization, they'll show up and support it.
Yeah, like the Lions grip type stuff.
I've seen that too.
The only thing is the problem is that like they
that's how I looked at it. Like he was just walking around his new store. Singing "Way in the Water." Come on, y'all. Come on. Come on. These are their leaders. These are their leaders. These are their leaders.
Now you see what happened? You see what happened? Wow. He had to bring the soup out the water. Out there. Trouble it. Good. Got to bring the alcohol. You see.
I knew it. They go right to the mother.
You get in the water, in the trouble, but they got to go in with love.
They hooping and hollering.
They sound like a bunch of frat brothers.
Yes.
Frat. You said they sound like a bunch of frat.
Like fraternity, Freemason.
But I told y'all this is about the Aquarian.
Yep, that's exactly what they sound like.
Right over to that water, and he start talking about. See, this is where he brought the mother away from. He brought out the water. So why are you waiting her back in the water then? That like why would you sing this song if that's where he brought her from? You're returning her back to the state. See, this is crazy because this is 2000.
Because these is 33rd. I'm pretty sure they're 33rd.
Yeah,
they're
Cornell West. He worked at Harvard.
Yeah.
So I know. To me, even to work at Harvard, you got to be a Skull and Bones affiliate.
Right.
You got to be to work there.
Boule, in plain sight.
This is a different. See, Boule different
It
though,
came
bro.
right in the
Boule is
temple.
like
Came right
more
in the
richer
temple.
people, the ones that act rich. This is like a division of you know, one of the nicer Pythias type stuff.
All right.
Like, cause they did, you know, nicer Pythias deal with politics more. The Boule members, they deal with like, you know, like entertainment and sports and, you know, hip hop, all that crap. Like the entertainment.
Right.
And they the ones that get to the highest positions, and you know they get protected and all this stuff, and then you know weird scandals come out and they always get protected. It just goes away. But the ones in politics, those are them other people. Like it's different. It's different organizations because the Knights of Pisces Temple was taken over by the Moors that was ran by Kirkman Bey in 1938, and they got the Odd Fellows Convention.
What?
In 1938, look, and then in 1944 they switched the head temple in Chicago down to Washington D.C. And then so because Noble Ali, when he went down south, he came back to Philly first, and I don't know what I don't know if he set up a temple up here or something happened crazy, like I think a temple or something, because they were operating from, you know, that temple they call Temple 14. They was operating from that for like a long time, like all the way back in the 30s. So I'm like, all right. And then like, but when you see that switcheroo or whatever in 1938, that tie into the Oath of Bonds. So it's all like unified. It's all in one big thing. Like it's not separated. All these moves was like in tandem. So now today, when you see like how the brother he got kicked off, but how he was saying how like look at the children and look at how the mothers is you know is doing bad, and then when the Moors trying to tell somebody who might not know, like, yo, this is what you need to do to save yourself, they doubting them, but then won't say nothing back to the people who are subjugating them, but got everything to say for the person that's trying to tell you to save yourself. While that's going on, and while the so-called COVID is going on, and while so-called Trump and these crazy stuff on the news is going on, you got these people playing temple games, bringing in people that's from the Matrix basically into the temple to sing church hymns of slavery. So if you don't know the prophet, it's like just like what everybody was saying. Everybody is so correct right now. It's crazy. This has to be a Sons of Allah. This has to be. This is like another crazy one. If you do not know who you are now,
you got all this to say to me.
It's like almost too late to go watch a Taj video. It's too late to go watch a Asir video, a Toriano. It's too late to get on Cujo and the Mother's Wave. It's like over for that. For like trying to learn your way into this. It's over. You need a straight mentor at this point. And who you gonna get the mentor? You think about this. Who you gonna get to dedicate this time if you're playing around? If you're not like acquired a certain knowledge, because I already know how it is with Moors. If they say something to you and you don't get it, they're gonna leave you with that. They're not gonna just keep trying to get you and beat it in your head and all. They're just going, if you don't get it, then leave you with that. So at this time, if you don't know, you're gonna get burnt in the fire, and then it's gonna be certain Moors whose coattail get caught because they playing around. It's like we can see exactly what the prophet was saying, but if he would have said it back then, nobody would have wanted to do it.
Islam. Yes. Islam.
Anybody else have anything to add before we play?
No, not yet. I'm just thinking.
Oh, Islam.
Islam more. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, yeah. I was just making sure it wasn't acting funny.
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right. Yeah, man. The time is up, and we can't, and that's where we can't divert. We can't be diverting our attention. Everybody can't do everything. You know, hey, Canaanland Moors. We the cleanup, Canaanland Moors cleanup crew. meet you over the head, protect the prophet, continue put. Now everybody has a role that they need to play. Everyone's not going to be at. It's nice to. I'm gonna go ahead and say it like that. It's nice. We all know what that means to admire certain people. However, we don't have time. We don't have time for that. There are different areas that we all need to be looking at to keep a balance. We can be balanced within ourselves. We need help, and so that's where it's important for us to build those bridges and not get away from the principles and still get done, because the people will complain. Hey, for the first time in my life, the Moorish National Divine Movement. So what you gonna do? That's what I ask people. So what you gonna do?
Make it happen.
Then the remedy's here. The remedy's here if people really want to put the work in. Make it happen. That's it. I love it. I love it. Shout out more rooftop to have finally have remedy, and even coming through you come through different schools of thoughts. However, there comes a time when, okay, well, how can I apply this? How is this going to better
work
my position? Divine movement is the only salvation, not only for us, for the rest of humanity. It's not even
large.
anything you can get with, and anybody who says any differently they have to be compromised. There's no other way. There's no way to put it, and there's no sense in soft selling it, and because a lot of those people who might be benefiting from it are our own in our own family. My brother-in-law is Prince Hall.
Oh.
He throws the brick wall. You try to talk anything with him, he throws the brick wall quick. He's not trying to say nothing, and he gets kind of irritated too. I think it's the best though. The best. Because that time is coming.
The time is coming.
You gonna have to prove you got to prove and be who you say you are.
Be the change you want to see.
Straight up.
Somebody said something about 90 days of food, and you're going to have that until the brothers from the East can assist you. And he also said, you're going to be hungry one day, and you're going to be so hungry that you're going to bite into your own flesh. Blood is going to skeet out, and you're going to be mad that you didn't store the food. Now, I have read this, and it came to me in a different way because of so much ignorance. I'm like, what if 90 days is 90 degrees and food is knowledge?
Go in.
So if 90 degrees or 90 days of food is really 90 degrees of square knowledge, because the food and meat, for the men, and then milk for the babies. So if you have to have this knowledge, you have to have 90 degrees of knowledge until the east of your mind, or the dormant part, the so-called ancestors, can assist you. But the people who don't get in tune like that on the 90-degree square, they're going to be hungry and looking for answers and looking for the food and looking for the right way to go and looking for what to do. And they're going to be so confused on what to do. They're going to hurt themselves by what they do. And they're going to be so mad that they didn't listen to, well, damn, them Moor, he was right. Or that Moabite, she was right on it. She knew exactly what she was talking about. Now I'm effed up in a certain position, and I did this to myself. So this might even be a thing where when you F up now, you're not going to be able to blame anybody else. You're going to have to take it on the chin and blame yourself for the first time, people are gonna have to take their shit on their own will. Like, damn, I messed up. You know how hard that is for people to do. They're gonna have to admit that they was wrong. What a whirlwind to be a part of.
True.
Oh, look at that. Word, love you talking about? Right there. Love is the savior of the world. Savior of the world. Learn to love instead of hate. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We need to learn to love instead of hate. Love goes first. Love is first. Without love first, like you know, kids. What's that? What's up, kids? You gotta learn how to love yourself. Oh. Stop. No, you love everybody else. You love everybody else. You love everybody else but yourself. Something wrong. Nobody's else wrong. People gonna think we planned on it. We designed. We trying to know first. You designed. And you got to know yourself. And then you can love that other.
Well,
they think that this was scripted. But that's why I
got him.
Got him. Hog smash. Right.
The ultimate reality. Oh, well, we in ultimate reality. What did I tell you, young man? You told me. What did I tell you, young man? Young man said, we got to find this. I said, when he come in here, because he couldn't even be in this house. When he came in, he got to look
Pause.
Stop.
That's not
This whole thing is for some young boy, yo. So hold up, young. This whole show they doing, and then they just admitted that it was scripted. This is all for some young boy in there that he bought that don't really get it. This is crazy, bro. This parade, this charade of money that we seeing is all for some young boy who's unclear on what Moorish is about. And what they just showed the young boy was that Moorish is just, some fez wearing niggas, church around and stuff, joke about the guys theory. Yo, what's up with the guy here today? Oh, everything they was saying, he was saying it was like gassing it, like was like Saturday Night Live or something like that. Like everything he was saying, they woo hoo and hollering. Like, don't more say Islam, peace and law, yeah, Islam to that. Why? Like, this is not the cadency of Moors. And then black fezzes up in there. And this is how they acting. This is devious. Church pews, and this is all for some young man. See, this is really, really, really crazy because this is black magic now. Because what they trying to do is take the youth like energy and usurp it for their old asses.
Facts.
Yeah. It remind me of my aunt. My aunt would say, "What your uncles in there doing? Seeing who can outlie each other."
Oh, wow. Oh my God.
That's exactly what they doing. Seeing who can outlie each other.
Uncle Nelson and them back there playing around. This is definitely like garage talk. Crazy.
In baseball, we call the guy Topper. Because for every story you had, or anything, something you had to tell, he had the same story but better. Topper.
Topper.
Yeah.
Topper.
Now you can take that. Now you get that. We could get into a whole other connotative conversation about that, but I'm gonna just leave it at that. Topper. Come through Jeffing and sucking butt and doing all the other. No, man, you see right through that. We see right through you, and that's why people don't like. That's why for everybody that love us is that many more people that hate us because we expose that. I see right through that, man. You got to go somewhere else with that. and a lot of times they can feel the energy. So when you get to a certain place where you've internalized things, then folk don't want to be around you, or they'll try to play. They'll play. You know, they'll try to jeff with you like he does to make sure they don't, because they feel uncomfortable. There's that uneasiness when you're secure. When you're secure in who you are, and they look at you and they know what it is, not from anything that came out of your mouth, but the way you carry yourself. They already know, and they don't want no part of that.
So is this thing
Nope.
new? Is this new or is it old?
Yesterday was the first time I seen it.
August 8th, 2020.
So okay. So you mean to tell me that it's the middle of COVID crisis, right? You got a so-called Democrat in there, no mask on, no worrying about no 6 feet distance, nobody in there. So that's also another sign that this thing is fake.
He's getting somebody in trouble.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What you doing up in there with no mask on, boy? What you not respecting the 6 feet of distance for? They need to arrest him right now.
Yep, that shit, because he's part of that game. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
He plays that game. Yep.
Peel back these layers real quick. And again, the prophet is looking down on these people like, what in the hell is y'all trying to do? Can't. Like, this feels too like churchy to even be anything of more. And then even the way that they talk, the way that they say things is not Moorish. Like they say, oh, it's love. Love is first. No, Moorish say love is the first principle. We don't just say it's love first. It's a way that love is the first principle. You probably put your hand over your chest. Like, but the way that they're doing, it's like they're playing around with divine principles just to subjugate it. And then, mind you, it's a young man in there that's like, yo, I wonder what this Moorish stuff is about. This boy was all hype about it. I wonder what it's about. And then he go in there and he see this. He like, man, well, that Moorish stuff is just another church. It's a bunch of grown men. Ain't no young bulls in there. Ain't no youth in there. So, like, look at what this is. Like, bunch of grown men, no youth, playing around. Backdoor barbecue talk.
Yeah, I don't mean no harm, but when Grand Sheik play that other video, y'all more is gonna be upset.
Serious,
y'all gonna be upset.
Oh, it's here. It's a fish. That's right. You came to him. It's like, man. Oh my God. That's fighting when we serve. That's right. That's right. This is the change agent. Prophet Noble who I lead. He was the change agent. That's how he was able to galvanize all these people. Right there. He galvanized right there in Chicago. Ain't nobody else do it. It's like that. Like that. See, but you know what? That was back during times that we was Republicans. Think about that. Yeah, I know. Yeah, but it's a new Republican now.
Hold on. Islam.
What?
Islam.
Go back.
Islam.
Yo, real quick. He said that Noble Drew Ali was the one to galvanize all of these people in Chicago. That's what the Moore said with the feds on. Cornell said, wasn't nobody else to do it. That's right, mother effer.
Yep.
That's right. That's one thing he ain't lying about now. I was like, okay, that's right.
He started getting mesmerized.
Wasn't nobody else to do it. That's right.
See how he got stuck in that picture over there?
Yeah, that maze hit him.
Yeah, prophet telling him like, yo, you wrong, right?
What is that? Like a museum? What is this? It's right here. Oh, it's here. It's a fish. That's right. You came to him. It's like, man. Oh my God. Right. Right. That's right. It's a change agent. Prophet Noah through our league. He was the change agent. That's how he was able to galvanize all these people in the truth. Right there. He galvanized right there in Chicago. Nobody else do it. Right there. Like that. Wow. But you know what? That was like doing. Think about that.
Nobody else do it.
See, this is people said we should go back. No, we can't go back. We refuse to go back. That's right. We refuse to go. We here. We started from the bottom. Now we here. Now we're here.
What?
We started from the bottom. Now we here.
Yo.
Hold on. So if Noble Drawley said go back to the mind of the ancient forefathers, and he's saying we shouldn't go back, and he's in the Moorish Science Temple of America.
Oh.
Wowzers.
What just happened? Yo.
That'd be treason in any other place.
Wait, did everybody just drop off?
No, we're here.
All right.
Only thing they did do was run up and down the aisle. Do. You know how it goes.
Yep.
When they gonna catch the spirit. That's the only thing they didn't do. That's the only thing they didn't do. Run up and down the aisle.
Man,
Some people go for it too every time. We know she uses colored language, but the sister really did powerful things forward to the table. That
shit is crazy.
You said what?
I see somebody else up in there. I see you, Ibra. I just see you. Saw you. Islam, brother Ibra, you got something to add? I just saw you over there. My bad.
Islam. Yeah, I do actually. So just to expound a little bit on, him being the black guy, I also wanted to emphasize that his whole scholarship is compromised, right? Like, I don't know how many of us have had like public education upbringing, probably a lot of like formal education as we think about, but as we're shoveling out, we come to grips with the fact that, John D. Rockefeller and who is it, the Gates guy, right? We know that everything that they set up to help indoctrinize us in something other than what is ours is that system. So when we start talking about the altitudes of scholarship that, a quote unquote black man was able to get in a time where they, maybe still, try to oppress us and keep that from us now. That's what's so admirable about such a character. So as we're shoveling out, that's, why he's so important, but it goes to say that everything that we hold the esteem for him for, it's within compromised scholastic, it's within compromised accolades, so for him to go to another pseudo type issuing of information type place like a lot of the temples are nowadays, it makes sense now, I think, to me. I found my why. So I don't know if anyone else is connecting those dots, but just the prerequisites that you set forth, Grand Sheik, that's something that I'm able to pick up on. So I just wanted to speak to that, and I yield the floor.
Islam, more give thanks. Give thanks. Hold on, I never had two. Islam. Islam, more. Anybody else have anything to add? All right, do some more of this.
Somewhere I read it, last shall be first and the first shall be last.
That's right. That's right. That's why you got that sister there. You see, that's why you got that sister there. They threw her away. And he went and got.
He still got one foot in the wall.
Whoa! You see it there. He got one foot in the water. I know you paid attention. Oh, yeah, I know that. He got one foot in the trouble. No, still in it. That's right. You know what it reminds me of? What's that? Reminds me of Harriet Tubman when she went back and got how many times went down one time and said Harriet you lost your mind? Okay. I said, I gotta go back. She went back 19 times. 19 times. Went back into the water.
Hold on, Islam. No, because he's trying to see now they're going again with this subjugation of the water stuff. He's trying to make it seem like it's okay to go back in the water. No, that was the whole point of the wait in the water. They're trying to make it seem like it's okay to go back to the States because the prophet was going and saving people. No, bro. The prophet was the prophet, and then he never lost the fact that he was a Moorish. So it's like you're trying to. He's like, yo, I know it's the 1 foot in. That's because he's trying to say he see himself in that, but you're not even doing that. He think that he got 1 foot in by going into this dirty temple and singing church hymns. He literally seen himself in that part. That's why he noticed that. And then it's make it like the whole like thought process. And then think about it. These are the anti-sovereignty Moors, right? So they're making it seem like it ain't about that. It's about going back to the state and being comfortable drowning in the water. So they took us out of a burning house and put us into under the water. That's funny.
It's so funny to me too. Wow, wowzers, man. Shaking my head. Unbelievable. Wow. No.
Yeah, so I was doing some research because if you do some research on the opposite of sovereign.
Is it what is that?
Anarchy.
Oh,
opposite is shot.
Wow.
No, I was just saying.
So like unruly, no government, anti-government. So that also says that sovereignty is really the government. So the men who are sovereign and practice sovereignty, that nation, that's the true government. Based off of what Yusuf just read.
Facts.
Yeah.
Wow. And they're the anarchists.
Yeah, the opposite of sovereignty.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And if you look up the opposite of sovereignty, it leads to statelessness. It's stateless.
Wow.
Damn.
Like if you don't have a sovereign nation, you're stateless. What do you mean? You're under brands. You're under subjugation. You're under whatever. You're under black, Negro, colored, Latino, Hispanic, etc. That's what you're under. Just look up the opposite. Just do research on the opposite of sovereignty. Like just type that in. Okay, we're not sovereign. All right. Well, let's look up the opposite of sovereign. And then as soon as you do, you're like, yo, I'm not being that. Like, why would I do that? Why would that be the opposite? It's horrible. It's what we don't want to be. Negro, black, colored, African American, brand, etc.
Facts.
That's what I'm like. It was so easy, but they make it seem like, oh, this is gonna be we're gonna call them sovereign. Like, no, just look up the opposite of sovereign. Like, oh, we're not sovereign. So what does that mean? Oh, you're subject. What? Like, no, I'm not like, nah. So as soon as you hear any more talking about, oh, Moors are not sovereign, so they're slaves. That's what you're saying.
I got
Moors are slaves.
Question. I got a real good question. Who sent him?
Well, yeah, who sent them? Who won?
That's the opposite.
The ops.
Who sent this dude to even conduct this whole thing?
He from Midland.
Like, cause he's definitely there, and they're definitely like
cause confusion.
They're definitely bringing it back to like some subjugation of the mind. And
And
then
they're planting bugs and everything.
how come he didn't come there to talk about some law? Like, ain't that what he do? I don't remember him being a church guy. So how come he ain't doing what he usually do? Like, if he go to a so-called European convention, he's not going to be going up in there to sing about Christ.
Mm-hmm.
So how come when he get around his people, it's just time to play around with Christ? No law talk like how you do amongst the Europeans?
Say what? Islam.
Hey, can I read? Hey, Islam. Let me put sovereign. Let me put sovereign on.
Because as you can
Valentine's law. Can I get sovereign in here real quick?
Yeah, you're gonna have to go up, go to the mic a lot.
A ruler, a king, the government.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right. Go in, bro.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, Mark.
Sovereign. This is coming out of Valentine's
and that's why.
Dictionary.
And right when you say that, I love to. I think about when the prophet said,
a king,
we should worship on our own vine and fig tree.
The government.
Mm-hmm. What else?
Hey, hold on. When you look up niggas, Negus, a ruler, a king.
Wow.
Ethiopia.
Yes, right.
Isn't sovereign and niggas the same thing then? I'm coming out the law dictionary. There's no Valentine's law dictionary. King.
I still
Let's see,
believe that he
the power to make and enforce laws to which everyone must conform.
Mm-hmm.
Sovereign state, a body politic or state in sovereignty and control.
You're breaking up.
Things within its boundaries are exercised by means of an organized government, in which the laws of other states do not operate except by consent. The United States is both a sovereign state and a community of.
Yep.
A body politic or state in which sovereignty and control over all persons and things within its boundaries are exercised by means of an organized government. That's sovereign state.
Mm-hmm.
Well, since you read that, might as well
a
play
state in which the laws of other states do not operate except by consent. Consent.
Is sovereign citizen in there?
No.
The people.
Is there any shred of space that he just doesn't know these things with the scholarship?
No, nowhere to be. Sovereign immunity, sovereign nation, sovereign power, sovereign right, sovereign state, sovereignty.
Sovereign Asiatic.
Entertain the thought that he don't know. Harvard.
So sovereign citizens not in the law.
Somebody from Harvard told you right now that you could go and have any book. You can just have 24 hours, stay in the library and take whatever. Do that.
If they granted me 24 hours to take whatever I could from the library, would I take it?
It doesn't exist.
Yes.
Not any I've seen.
I still wouldn't, even having 24 hours, even having
But you know how it goes. They'll
to
make
be able to
they'll make some shit up.
You said what? They'll make some stuff up.
Yeah, no, I think he has a delay on his. I think he has a delay on his thing. So when we talk, he hears it after. I think that's what it is.
I'm just saying, you don't know.
I'm just wondering because I mean, to me, it's like the angle of what you learn. Or I'll speak for myself. I have came a long
You
way.
talking about on my end?
Me? It might be me with the delay. I'm on this iPad. I'm not gonna hold you, but as far as like the circumference of awareness, you know, like yes, a lot of us have foundations in Christianity, so I maybe even understand coming from that angle. But was it going somewhere with it? You know, like because he's brilliant, right? So like, there's so many different things that he could speak to these people about. Is he trying to build up some type foundation and take it somewhere, or is he just, you know, dancing? Like, and if he dancing, then now we know that he compromised. But to me, that there's still like a percentage of possibility that he just isn't privy to the same type of information that we've been able to click, because I don't know too many of the master teachers that have sat with Morris, and that's just me. Like I know of dang, and I want to remember like his free national name so badly, but Elder Booker T. Coleman, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I saw him sitting with Taz. I saw the footage of it. That's one of the earlier videos that I saw. So
Right.
if I can see and hold them accountable, that accountability is big for me. And I know that he's been, you know, within their law things, but if he's within their law things, they're going to be going about things, you know, appointing jurisdiction for issues that are all you know, facilitating their own validity and not from another angle. So unless he sat with somebody prior, if this is like his first introduction to the Moors, you know, like in his life path, well then maybe I understand it a little bit better. But if it's not that, if he sat with, you know, other people of his caliber but in the realms of Moorish science, like really then we have to hold him to a different type standard. So I'm asking, like, is there a shred that he doesn't know this type stuff, or does he he's for sure aware of all of these things?
Wait, hold on.
No, based on his reactions to certain things, there's no way he doesn't know. Like I don't know if he sat down with any Moors, but studying in the realm that he's studying in, there's no way he never read about it or heard about it or something.
No way.
No way at all.
No way.
In Islam, Moors, y'all got to look up something called Black Dispatches.
There it is.
Look
then.
up
Okay.
Black Dispatches.
All right,
now, you got to realize this is how Moors became Indians. Do you understand? This is how Moors became Indians, because they would send one of them that would look like us, that we would feel like it's cool. But he's coming around, you know, talking this Indian stuff, and we like, well, what's the shoe with that? And he's like, you know, that's, you know, brother, it's all right. You know, we can get down with that. The European respect it.
Hey, what's the name?
Treaties
run that back one more time. Islam, run that back.
It's called Black Dispatches.
Black
Dispatches is hired by the secret government, or so-called like, you know, CIA type people. And these people are the people that like work as spies for like in original terms, they work for spies for the Union. So look at how this works. You got a land. Well, what really led to the Civil War, the secrets of it, is that you had half of the people selling out and basically spying for the Union, the northern Europeans, and then you had the other half of the slaves running up to the Britons and selling out to them. So half of the so-called blacks selling out to Britain, half of the blacks selling out to so-called, you know, the so-called United States. What was going on with the South? The craziest part about the South is that as much as Europeans that were down south, a lot of them didn't live in slave states. The ones that did, it wasn't a lot of them. And then the few Moors that lived in the slave states, they own more slaves than everybody in the nation. So there's people from down south in Louisiana. After the Civil War broke out, when they lost, they ran down to the islands and ran down to South America. Do you know that these people today are like Baby, his family, Beyonce's family, what do you call her? Nicki Minaj's family, Cardi B. These are all the people that owned slaves back in the day, that owned like more slaves than the Europeans, and got chased out of the United States by Europeans that had blacks selling out with them, and you know the whole thing like that. So the whole real Civil War wasn't about fighting for Britain, fighting to get away from Britain. It was uniting Britons to fight the Moors and from down south that was making all the money off of slavery. The only war that they did have was who was going to control the banks of the South from all that money that was made. This took place from 1790. So like when the Sundry Free Moors Act happened, all the way till they freed slaves, so called in 1865. America. This is dark skinned people only. You can look up a Moor named William Taney. And his family owned like 100 slaves, bro. They said back in the day he was making like what today would be like $8 million like every month off of his portion of slaves, and the Europeans was only making about $8,000 in today's money. So it was too much. It was too much for the Europeans to even compete when it comes to the market. So they conjoined together and subjugate the Moors that was in down south, and then whoever was going to control the banks. And all the Europeans that got caught up in that was the Europeans that had bought property off of people like William Taney, like bought plantation for cotton gins and stuff like that. Because think about it, to be a slave master, you got to have a plantation. Who was you getting a plantation from?
Moss.
This goes all the way back to the so-called Spanish Empire and the French, so-called French Empire, or French, whatever you want to call it, kingdom. Secretly, they were all under commission of Islamic Andalusia, all the way from the 1500s to 1600s. All of those Europeans that was coming over here, you can look up another European named Luis Vasquez de Ayllon. And this guy, he was a Mozada that worked under the Islamic Al-Andalus. So when he came over here, his whole thing was to stop the wars between Indians and people like Hernan Cortez. He was a peace, justice of the peace or whatever. So he was to settle all the damn disputes. You already know what they did to him. So he was coming, like he was part of the people that if you remember, Isabella, like, yo, stop hurting the Indians, leave the Indians alone, so-called Indians. But he was one of them people that was caught like making it stop, stopping the fights and trying to like basically form an empire with America South. So that's what Florida and all that became, all the way over to New Orleans, which basically is France. So it's a big thing with this whole France and Spanish stuff. And if we study like what Noble Drew Ali was on, it lead right back to that type of stuff. So I mean, these people like Cornel West and them, to say he don't know, that would be assuming that Farrakhan don't know.
He obviously no. Obviously.
And then think about it. Farrakhan is who? Wasn't he a Calypso player from the Caribbeans?
Yeah,
same family line. I'm telling y'all. And I bet you, if you look up Cornel West, his family line is the same shit. So they play black games now. Black this, the white man, the white devil, lost in America. Y'all really owned white slaves back in the day. Stop playing.
Peace, brother.
Peace.
You have anything to add in there?
I do. Islam brothers.
Islam.
What I wanted to add in with what the brother was saying with the whole Indian thing and the whole black and white thing. So all right, so I don't know if y'all are up north, like in the New York, Rhode Island, and New Jersey area. So for correction, the Civil War was basically a war over Staten Island. That's why it started.
Real quick.
It was a war. It started over Staten Island because the guy
Cornell's
who owned Staten
grandfather was a
Island.
Baptist preacher.
What?
Just to add, just to back what the brother was saying just now. If you check Cornell West's background, it goes with some fingers. It's all entertainment.
It's only entertainment for them because they're not the rightful heirs to whatever they trying to claim. So when we talk about the whole religion thing, so it's a saying, and it's an old saying that he who controls the religion controls the whole race, right? So when the Moors ruled, we was all on the law of peace. Everybody agreed on the law of peace because it was too many of us dying. So this is where it got confusing. When I don't know if y'all seen the movie the something Kingdom with Orlando Bloom in it, right? It talks about Jehoshaphat and when they took over the kingdom of Jerusalem, which was misnomer, which is the Vatican. They just moved the name of Jerusalem. All right. The Vatican is the seat of where the Moors sat when Islam ruled the world. But when Constantine came over, he got rid of all of that. That's where the beheading started. The beheading actually started with Constantine. And once he got into, go ahead.
There's also more. Abyssinian more.
Yeah, that's why, in when Prophet Drew Ali came, he established everything the way it was because he was already ahead of his time. He already knew what was going on with the Vatican. You know what I'm saying? What was going on with Washington. If you look at Washington, D.C. has all Egypt written over it. But the thing is, they were told not to tell the story because they would be beheaded. Do you understand why Constantine was beheading people? Because we told them not to tell the story to the Europeans. That's why they have the scimitar over their Shriner's head, because they were told not to give away the secret. That's why most of the people got compromised and started going over to the NOI, started going over to all the organizations outside of Drew Ali.
Wow.
Now, you say it's a game, it is a game. You want to know why it's a game? It's a black and white game because it's a chessboard. All right. Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. is actually the king and not the queen. Washington, D.C. is the king and the Vatican is the queen. Why do you think the Pope can go anywhere he pleases and Washington, D.C. can only go to a limited space? You know what I'm saying? So in order for us Moors, the enlightened Moors, the real Illuminati, we have to take both. That means we have to work together. We have to put somebody in political scene and we have to put somebody on the religious scene. And from there, we control the whole thing. It don't matter who controls the money because we as religious tenants can be like, look, man, you don't need money. All you got to do is go out in your backyard and grow a garden. That's it. And money will stop and cease like that.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? But because
how they are tax free. Right?
Yeah, but because we Moors were fighting each other with the North and the South, because in the North there was no slavery. In the South there was. The reason the story was told like that because it was told backwards.
Yeah.
The North enslaved white people and the South did not enslave anybody. The story was told backwards. If you read the Iroquois, you will know that before all of this, they brought the white people in and started using them to build the Iroquois Confederacy. That's why Lincoln said, I only have the power to free who I can, and those who I can't, I'm sorry. Because he didn't have permission to free the white man. He didn't have permission. They went against what we told him.
Yeah.
So when we say we have to get back to that mindset, we have to get back to the mindset that we are the rulers and they are slaves.
The servants.
We have to stick to those morals, because if we don't, then we're gonna have white people trying to put us back into slavery, and we're gonna have the black people trying to put us back in slavery. And we know the white and the black game.
Carlos,
you know what I'm saying? So when we deal with brothers, we have to correct them where they stand, because we are men upright and independent, and we have to correct brothers where they stand. If they can't abide by the correction that we give them as brothers, hey man, we can't help them.
Word, real talk, facts.
You know what I'm saying? That's why the prophet put it in religion, because that was the protection. So we can teach civics, so we can teach history, so we can teach science and culture and astrology, because all of that stems in religion. But what happened was they took it and made it into a religion that separated into 4 pieces of one.
Right.
Like I don't know if you're familiar with the Quran of the Muslims, but in their story, it was told that Muhammad took all of his writings from the Hebrews and changed the name.
Yep.
So if he took the writings from the Hebrew, what does that tell you? That it came from the original man. So when you talk when you speak to other brothers on the original man, we have to stop using black and white. That's all across the board. We have to stop using black and white, because that does nothing but put the people's mindset back into slavery. We have to bring them out.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
And identify the whole black and white thing as a paradigm shift that has to happen in this, bro?
It's a paradigm shift, because we have to tell the people that slavery never existed, because we have to get that story corrected. It never existed because we started slavery. That's why it could never happen to us, because we started it. We have to put the Europeans' mindset back into slavery. We have to put their mindset back into slavery, because that's where they came from, and that's all they will ever know. If we gonna ever get back to the top, we have to correct everybody where they stand at. It don't matter if they like it or not. We have to correct them. And we can't depend on the European, because we the ones who told them not to tell us. You know what I'm saying? We said if we ever get in a state of confusion, please don't tell us, because we'll get mad. That's why the prophet said, if I told you everything, you'll go back to sleep. No, you'll go and get angry and want to kill everybody. That's what anger does. It puts you to sleep to where you can't see nothing. Why do you think the Hulk goes Hulk mode? Because he can't see nothing else but anger.
You want to crawl up in a damn cubby hole? That's what it is.
You know what I'm saying? So we have to correct it even when we feel like we don't need to. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole deal with Taharka and, you know what I'm saying, all his going ons, like that right there, that shouldn't even be going on. Like we understand that those brothers, they have a militia. Why not go to those brothers and correct their knowledge? Correct their knowledge.
I mean, I hear what you're saying, bro. To me, like, I feel like it is everything that you're saying. Like, we have to correct everyone each and every time. We can't be lazy about it. You know, we can't worry about them, you know, with the pushback and everything. We just have to endure that until we all have a different frequency. But it's also not just teaching the people, but it's taking advanced steps for ourselves, because I've noticed that that's the whole pitfall of even Christianity or any of these like pyramid type social groups. You know what I mean? Like the whole thing is regurgitation of this lower level stuff to keep people entertained, to keep people you know what I mean, from advancing. So at the same time, if we have to go out and speak to people that don't know who they are, we can't forget that there's other steps for us to take already knowing. And knowing that we the ones that saved them. You know what I mean? Like as far as like putting your nationality on record.
But
you know, which is
here's the thing, the prophet said that he brought us everything. We have everything we need, right? So we take what we need, and we have to be firm on what we have. It says study and find yourself approved. You know what I'm saying? So if they don't know what to study, because man knows not by being told, we have to show them. Show them where to go to. Show them what to do. You know what I'm saying? We can't just tell them.
What I'm
You
saying
know what
is,
I'm
I
saying?
feel like
Because
I
then
can show
nobody
them better
believed the
with my
prophet until
steps.
he showed the Quran. Nobody believed the prophet until he showed them the Quran.
Bro, okay, so it's like this, man. Like, if you don't mind me asking, like, have you
Go
put your
ahead.
nationality on record at this point?
My nationality been on record since the day I was born.
Like that?
Good
Okay,
point.
Islam, bro. Islam. So, like, with you already taking that, with your parents taking that step, right? What you embody is that example to what I'm saying, right? So, like, there's a lot of us that are lip service. Like, I'm gonna catch somebody on the street before I can take these steps to make it happen with them. Every single person I
Mhm.
see, you feel me? So, like, with that being the case, it's like I may not get to penetrate deep enough to be like, hey, nationality is what you got to change. And if it don't hit that point, I feel like everything else what we're trying to get is the cogs turning to get to that point. That's
Okay,
just the
so
narrative that I hear.
how I do it when I approach people is we talk about black and white. That's what we talk about because I asked them. I said, what are you? You know what I'm saying? Tell me who you are. So they tell me who they am. I ask them, what is your origin or nationality or background? They tell me black. I will ask them to describe on them what is black and what is not. Okay, we have to get an understanding what's black and what is not. So then when I talk about that, I also go back and I talk about their parents. I ask them, where are your parents from? Where were they born? Then I go and I do a genealogy, just a verbal genealogy. Okay, so where's your grandparents from? It's a thing that was passed down to me, so I pass it and ask the people the same thing. That's why mine was put on record the day I was born. So my parents and my grandparents were born in Oklahoma, which is Indian territory. All right.
Okay.
We're in Indian territory. Our ancestors derived from the Iroquois Confederacy from the north. I have my footsteps go back to Chicago. It goes back to Cairo. It goes back to Pennsylvania, and it ends in New Jersey.
Islam. Okay.
Islam.
That's why when I read the prophet and the prophet, I was actually talking to Brother Cujo about it. So when the prophet said, "We descend from the mighty empire of the Moabites," you have to go back to your mind and understand, what does descend mean? You have to look that in a dictionary. You can't see descend and automatically think at the top of your head what it means. You have to look it in a dictionary. That's why it says when you study, you need a dictionary and you need an etymology dictionary when studying. Never go past the word you do not understand.
Islam.
So when you
I'm
look
right
at
there with you.
descend, you have to understand, well, if we came down as a descent, where did we come down from? We had to migrate from somewhere. And this is when this dude said Canada's not a part of the United States. This is actually how we got on the discussion. But that's where it ends. That's where the discussion goes. So this is actually roundtable on how we can teach people how to find their nationality rather than, trying to shove it down their throat and stuff like that. We have to be able to, teach and show where their nationality begins.
I see. Well, see, bro, like, I guess my introduction to even knowing self was slightly different. I was born around like Ohio state territory area. I'm real close to Oklahoma right now. I'm in Texas Republic down here. I really live around like Seattle right now, so I'm out there in Washington territory. So I done seen it like a lot around out here. So just like tracing back from my folk, I can trace granddaddy to Arkansas. I can trace grandmama to Terre Haute, Indiana, and we already know nationality is in the navel, and it starts in the woman in the womb. So
Nativity.
on the side of the females in my line, I see that they Piankashaw Indians out of the Miami tribe, right around the Great Lakes region, also tying into the Iroquois. So tracing it back that way, I feel like they can, on a pseudo level, right? Because like we all have these gerrymandered lines for the states and the territories in Canada and even beyond. But that's not really how our ancestors looked at things. Even that's a European concept that we've been indoctrinized with. So it's like they can trace it back, like
That's
Brother
why
said.
that's why I said you have to correct it at where it stands, because those are misnomers. But that's where we have to correct it, because everybody know everybody know the misnomer that they're Indians, right? So when we deal with that word, as Indians, we have to teach of the origins of the word Indian. All right. If on a national scale, we have to teach the origin of the word Indian and the real meaning that the Indian is a misnomer of Moor. So once we get that correct with the people, then we'll be on the same page. Because everybody say they Indian, but we have to correct that too. We're not Indians, we're Moors. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Identifying as an Indian is like the government payout.
A lot of them embrace that though.
Yeah, they like say like, oh, my mom taught me, my grandmom taught me that, so I ain't breaking away. You want me to say something that my grandma taught me?
That Indian stuff.
They don't want to accept the fact that grandma might have been wrong.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Because I was the same way till my grandma told me that that before America, we got our line goes to the Canary Islands, which is situated between Morocco and Spain. Which is funny because when she said that, and she said this is situated between Morocco and Spain, I looked at Morocco, current day Morocco and Spain, and seen that it's not situated between current Morocco and Spain. It's actually situated between Morocco and and America.
Right.
You know, so that's that. So now you understand where I'm going with it. We have to correct it here in America first before we can go backwards.
Islam.
Islam, Moors. All right, so we wanted to also play this other video and get Moore's perspective on this. This one's short, shouldn't be as long.
Who's that, Reverend?
I can tell you what we are not. A Moorish American is not sovereign. That's right. Now, how do you like that?
I'm familiar with this one.
We are not sovereign, but we are religious. Because we do belong to a religious corporation. We don't take people's houses. We don't. Because that's the unfortunate hanging they try to hang on us. That you're a Moorish American. No, we don't take people's houses and kick them out in the snow. Moorish Americans are not terrorists. We don't go around cutting people and putting bombs down. We don't do that. You a Muslim, you must be Jahid mode. What do you call it? Jihadi mode. Jahidi. Get all of them heats. So.
What?
Yeah.
No, I know exactly what this is.
You don't believe in that.
Exactly what this is.
You don't turn up the cheek either, Islam.
Templeton.
Brother told me that when he was learning to be of another faith, somebody slapped him on the train in New York City. He said, "Why you slap me?" Slap you again. And the other sitting down says, "You can go. You're supposed to turn the cheek." Do we believe in that? No, sir. Now, I'm not going to go and be intimate and say how many cheeks we got. But to me, hitting one cheek, I believe in one cheek slapping. That's enough. We're going to go through the rest of that. One cheek slapping. The law said you doing to others if you would have them doing to you. So that's what you need to do with you. If you slap my one cheek, your one cheek. And no pat on the back. So, it's good to see you, Deron. How you been? That's like a slap, isn't it? Depending on how hard your hand is, you can step into the next room. Hey, Deron, how you feeling today? I know that dude too. We don't believe in none of that either. That's right. But you trying to hit me on the slide. I ain't taking no slide hits or whatnot. More science is a wonderful thing to be. I tell you another thing we're not. The men are not womanizers. Right. We don't go from woman to woman. And we don't tell a woman, I'm going to live with you and ain't going to marry you. That's unheard of. You're using that sister. Stop before Allah stop himself. If she's good enough to sleep with, she's good enough to marry. Snowing all in her face. Eating her breakfast, eating your breakfast, and not being married. What kind of bullshit are you?
Go in.
Don't be like one of the brothers. If I love you today and then go up, love you now it's Wednesday. We don't do none of that. We are not.
Islam, or
A Moorish.
Yeah.
Islam.
He's trying to use like the whole castigation of sovereign citizen and go against that, but he didn't say citizen at the end. He takes the sovereign citizen like all those labels, and then he says, "Oh, sovereign, and we're religious." So he's to spin it back into that whole, the prophet made it a religious organization. Like that's the only thing it was, and this is the whole reason the prophet had to disband all the temples, because this is what was going on. So this is like how the brother was saying, like this is what we supposed to correct people like him,
right?
Talking like that, because he's definitely crazy.
Do you want to correct him, or do you want to just like not listen to him? You know what I'm saying? Because like he already, like, no disrespect to anyone that's been in it as long as he has. Like, I'll give him all of those respects and honors, but he kind of not talking sense on a lot of things. He's just talking circular. Like you said, he addressing stereotypes, perhaps, but there's no need for that, because if this is a temple, then you already know what it's about. So these things should be on different levels. As far as and the things that he's addressing, it's like he's scolding people broadly, as if some people that were addressed negatively in society are in attendance. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand him having this angle and it being televised whatsoever, off the strength that, like, with us being native from here, if we do claim things a certain way, and with land patents being what they are, yeah, that's exactly what the treaties that they can't not honor, that have been set up, that's what they do. So I'm not really understanding what he's getting at here. Like,
Islam.
It's all the more reason to like, he shouldn't be there. So like basically the fight against him would be to like cripple his financiers. So that would be for Moors that know how like to get their houses in order properly, so we're not funding them in their debt system, because that's all he's trying to propagate, is to continue the debt system by like being religious, which is almost like a form of acquiescence. And then if you look up latches is what attached to you when you acquiesce for a certain amount of time and don't say anything.
Isn't this any self-proclaiming religious group that's what we can depend on them to be today, because of that 501c3 agreement that they all take advantage
All right,
of?
good point.
19 yes, 19.
Because they all preaching docility. So for him to be like, "Oh, this ain't what we about," trying to throw smoke in a different direction, try to clean it up. We about religion. We about God and love and ethics, right? You know what I mean? Like, he doing all of this stuff to keep people on a certain hamster wheel and not, in the field where hamsters belong or something like that. So he's doing everything that he's supposed to as a religious leader, but isn't that every religious leader? That's why, like, it being Moorish, like the Moorish temple initially being divine and national, it doesn't fall victim to that. Anything else is able to fall victim to that because they need those benefits, because their existence can't be outside of the system, right? Like, that's what it is. So he's telling on himself to anybody that's there. So if anybody would continue to sit in front of him, that's you've made your bed. I know a lot of elder people really cling to the frequencies of like church and those type groups because of, you know, how the church or the circle even started for us, you know, at Nat Turner type times. So like I understand like, you know, certain age groups maybe being off, but is that for us? I don't think so.
Probably
I
not.
don't think so at all.
Islam.
Islam.
Any more got anything else to add before we get out of here? My brother Kasir, you got anything to add in?
Nah, I mean, other than like all the brothers, like definitely put it down. All I would say is just like continue doing what you're doing as far as like seeking your own guidance. You know, this is definitely the time to not follow anybody. Like all the more has been saying, like don't follow anybody, because what you're gonna do is run into one of these guys at this point, and they're wearing turbans and fezzes, so it might be a little confusing. And then you know, when I look, even though it's like you know he's the old guy or whatever, don't sleep on the fact that he is in control of young bulls out here, and then other entities that's like going sideways. Because I see a real strong like connection with masonry, the dirty temples, and NOI.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll just leave it there.
Islam.
Okay.
Anybody got anything to plug or any closing remarks for any Moors that might hear this after this live?
I have no plugs, but I do have a question. Is there like a bigger organized platform for us to build on that does exist that isn't dirty that we can, you know, stand behind? Does that exist at this time?
Only if we put it together.
Okay.
To be honest with you, you know, I mean, it'll be
Let's do it. Let's make it happen.
yeah.
Inshallah.
I'm down.
That's what it would be. You know, so for example, they got these Zooms and whatever. You know, you set it up and the Moors could be on there for however long they need to. I know sometimes different Moors in different areas would have their bills on those platforms. So it's not something that's not happening either. You know, it is something that is going on, has been going on. Moors getting together to build and organize.
Okay.
You know,
Islam.
what territory you in?
Brother, I'll be moving around. Like right now, I'm in Texas territory.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, bro, I was encouraged to really watch your videos because of another Moor by the name of Kasim. He met you personally, and I was out there in the Washington territory. That's where I'm going back to.
Yeah.
Bro, I feel like I've come a long way. It's encouragement around that time that I actually put my nationality on record and made a lot of moves. But yeah, I'm in between Texas, Ohio, and Washington territory.
All right. Yeah. Well, you know, there's always somebody somewhere, you know, so shoot an email and send you know, try to be here. You're gonna bump into some more down the street from where you're at.
Inshallah.
Yeah.
Inshallah, bro. I'll be bumping into every other group of people and we just be going back and forth. Like real talk. Like I'm cross street from the Goodwill and I see Hebrew Israelite. I'm walking down the way and I see NOY and like you know, like it's wild. I see, you know, Garvey Army, you know, out this way. So like I appreciate just like all the frequencies, but I really do be appreciating when like Moorish presence be there. We there in Seattle as well and we growing.
Yeah.
So yeah, inshallah we'll be bumping in to other Moors and hopefully even yourself, inshallah.
For sure. Islam. Yeah, straight up. There's enough work for all of us to do. You got anything to close out?
Yes. Caveat emptor. Moss, always keep your mind clear. Dirty Moss coming out of the woodwork. Yeah. Honest to the mothers. Supreme honest to Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Peace and love, Moss.
Islam. Peace and love to all the Moors worldwide. Honors more. I know you're having your issues with the internet stuff. But it's all good. Islam to all the Moors who are here today for this pop-up Sons of Allah, just to get the Moors to, build, because it's hard. It's hard for Moors to find Moors that are on like minds. But you already know we have it here at Canaanland Moors. Peace and love to all the Moors worldwide. Islam to all.
Peace and love, Grand.
We'll be going live on Sunday. We got our temple meeting on Sunday, 12 p.m. from the Moorish Science Temple of America. And don't forget, you can check out the Canaanland Moors IG. And of course, the online university, rvbaypublications.com. Go there, stay there for a little bit, get yourself set up. And don't forget, conwaystevens@gmail.com. Get that Hellfire album that just dropped. It's still hot.
Got it.
Islam to all. Peace and love, Moors. And of course, honor to the mothers and honors to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Islam.
Islam.